Fifth grade class is in session at primary school number 45 in Samarkand. Ksyusha Ismyatilina is one of the top students in her class. She has textbooks for all of her courses, something that she and most of her fellow students have never worried about. But for her mother, Svetlana, the books are a blessing. She is a single mother and finds it difficult to buy the full range of textbooks her daughter needs each year. So she takes advantage of a program that allows her to rent the books at a fraction of the price.
Most families choose to rent because it can be 4 to 5 times cheaper than buying them. I benefit a lot from the rental scheme because as a single parent, I don't have a lot of money to buy books. Also, this way I can get all her books before the school term begins.
When financial constraints forced Uzbekistan to stop providing free textbooks in 1998, many parents found they could not afford them, and publishers reduced their output, triggering a shortage of textbooks. The Asian Development Bank is backing a program that makes books more affordable to all families. First graders get their textbooks for free, while students in all other grades have the option to rent them. Rental fees are waived for lower-income families. The project sets up a competitive system for the selection and distribution of new textbooks. It has also helped design an updated curriculum and refurbish and upgrade school libraries.
Students have become more careful with their books, and in some families, which get the books for free, students feel they should study harder. Overall, children are learning better, and all students have books.
The revised textbooks offer more interesting learning experiences for students like Joe Rebekov Ibrahim, who attends primary school 169 in Tashkent. He feels the content is now more thought-provoking.
I like the English and Russian language books a lot. I also like the way books have lots of riddles, fairy tales, and tongue twisters.
And the books come at an affordable price for his mother.
I want my son to see the book as his friend. This program is a great help for me to save money to support my son.
Improved and affordable education materials that free students and their families from financial concerns, so they can focus on higher ambitions.
The Philippines has a very high infant mortality rate, partly because 60% of deliveries are still being done at home without proper medical care. There is particular danger for Mangyan women. Living far up in the mountains of the island, they have no easy access to even basic health services.
Our health facilities are usually located sa mga poblasyon, kaya may difficulty kami to reach them.
Apart from the physical barriers in providing health care, doctors and village health workers also had to deal with some cultural constraints. Traditionally, Mangyan people would not take any modern medication, fearing it would anger their gods and spirits. This added extra burden on the doctors and health workers who trekked up steep mountains to work with the Mangyans in a culturally sensitive manner.
Ito ang mas kaya nilang tanggapin kasi nakikita rin nila yung sinseridad din ng health practitioners pag sa kanilang lugar pumupunta.
But reluctance and fear can be a daunting foe. Lending Kapangi has spent the last week resting at her home. Lending lost her baby only a few weeks ago.
Sabi nila, wag mo na maglusong. Ayun pala, hindi naglabas sa hulo. At pinasabi ko sa kanila, hirap na ako at palusungin na ako.
A new project is now helping Mangyans with access to quality maternal and child health services. The Balay Mangyan, funded by the Asian Development Bank, respects cultural practices and beliefs in prenatal, natal, postnatal, and neonatal care. For people like Manny Maayos and Lina Onday, who have just had their second child with the assistance of the project,
dito naman may maalwan ng nanay pag nanganak dito. Dahil may mga gamot, may mga nurse na nag-a-assist sa'yo.
As traditional beliefs meet modern medical practices, the future can become a lot clearer and safer, even for those who have endured a loss.
Sabi nung asawa ko sa sunod hindi na kami pagkabuanan na dito na sa baba. Para sa bayan ng mga anak.
The very name, Tea-Horse Road, stirs thoughts of royal courts, exotic cargo, and extraordinary scenery. This ancient route, spanning China and south through Laos and Thailand, provided a southern version of the Silk Road and opened up economic and social possibilities for its citizens.
The road passed through areas with numerous ethnic groups and created trade links between them. It was a means of communicating outside their own world.
Today, the value of the route remains. Its path may be more modern, but its reason for existence the same. ADB has funded improvements and extension to the roads that mirror the Tea-Horse route, creating a modern economic corridor. Route 3 has created a continuous road all the way from Singapore to Beijing.
Development has significantly increased. In general, the road has a positive impact. Tourism and investment are up, and we've opened up to the outside world.
Many original industries, like the tea production that gave the original route its name, remain viable here, and they are a strong part of the regional economy. In China, the Na family have been in the tea industry for hundreds of years. Before, there was no road, only a narrow path, and we had to walk up and down the hills with baskets on our backs. We had to carry everything ourselves. If that was life, I don't know what to call this now. It's so much better. Access to services like health clinics and hospitals, especially in remote and rural Laos, once slow enough to often be life-threatening, has greatly improved.
People can better access hospital services because road conditions are good. They can travel from their village to hospital much easier and quicker than before.
Consumers and traders have benefited from the faster and more efficient transport that Route 3 has delivered. At his stall in Chiang Rai in northern Thailand, Krang Krai Samsakaltuda is anticipating great benefits.
I'm shipping stuff from China. It cuts the price of my products in half, if I can get the goods this way.
Economic benefits also come from increased tourism, even more attractive now that the new road has made some of the more remote areas accessible. The exoticism of the original Tea-Horse Road will never be forgotten. It has been nominated for World Heritage status, with a positive decision expected this year. But modern infrastructure brings jobs and prosperity, as well as better access to education and health, making Route 3 an invaluable addition to the Asian economy.
Farmer Dod Kawaga oversees workers tending his sweet potato crop in the highlands of Papua New Guinea. He is not a large-scale farmer, but he owns several acres of vegetables and has a herd of pigs, more than the average family in this region. Securing the finances to build his enterprise has not been easy. He says at first it was difficult to get credit from the country's main banks.
For small, simple people, they cannot really borrow from the commercial banks because the terms and conditions are very tough. You have to have your own money to put security against. It's like 100%.
Kawaga instead borrowed $12,000 from a microbank, enough to pay for the crops and livestock as well as cover his children's school fees. The concept of microfinance has only taken root in Papua New Guinea over the last decade, but it's one that offers new possibilities for the country's poorest and most isolated people.
85% of Papua New Guineans live in rural areas. They're not part of the formal economy, or only sort of peripherally part of the formal economy. They are subsistence farmers who supplement their income with some cash crops. So therefore you have enormous informal potential in PNG's economy, and we need to expand microfinance to realise that potential.
A pilot project supported by the ADB with co-financing from the Australian Agency for International Development has helped lay the foundation for microfinance in the country. It was so successful that in 2007 it became a fully licensed financial institution called Nationwide Microbank. Nationwide now serves more than 100,000 customers, with plans to expand to 24 branches across Papua New Guinea.
In every branch that we've opened, there's been a mad rush for people to open up accounts. They have come to realise that they don't have to keep their savings in a bit of bamboo stuck away somewhere in the house, that they can take all their money out and put it in the bank, and it's far safer there.
Nationwide also plans to introduce banking services via mobile phone, allowing customers to handle their affairs without making a trip to the branch in town. And a new project by the ADB in Australia will offer training to tens of thousands of people living in rural areas, such as duck farmer John Mahdi, teaching them more about the idea of financing and how it could help them. A growing understanding of microfinance that provides equal opportunity to small businesses and simple farmers.
People who would never have borrowed money at all or saved money at all, they are saving money in this bank and borrowing money in this bank, and this bank is very useful for the small people.